Hi everyone, today we are going to prepare the biscotti with the whole wheat and a healthy version to it. So stay tuned for the ingredient and the preparation. So first we need to have the eggs and the brown sugar. You can use the normal sugar if you want, but here since we are doing the healthy way, it's the coconut sugar or any brown sugar you have, and a pinch of salt, and this is the flax seeds and the anise that I grinded, or the fennel seeds as well, and I make it like into powder. It's a rough powder, it's not a very fine powder. So we have to mix well those ingredients, and then we add the honey. So I put here a mixture of honey and sugar. If you like to put only sugar, you can put sugar. If you want to put only honey, you can add 2 extra spoons of honey. So we keep whisking well. You can use the whisk or the electric whisk. And then we start adding our mixture of olive oil and melted butter. It's if you don't want to add the oil and the melted butter, you can do so. But with the whole wheat flour, you need to have a little extra of this to give you like not a very crispy and very crumbly biscuits. So we need like a biscuit that stay crispy, and at the same time, it's like a cookie biscuit. And if you want to add only the olive oil, you can do so, or olive oil with the normal oil, but not fully butter. Here I put the zest of an orange. You can also substitute it with a vanilla, but I like to use natural. Like I had the oranges and the fresh oranges that just cut from the farm, so why not? It add a very nice flavor to it. And we whisk again very well. With the leftover of the orange, I will get the juice of the orange so I can soak my almonds, raisins. Um, like as you can see now, I'm making the juice with the hand juicer. You can use also the electric juicer if you like, but I love this one. It's I love it. It's easy and it's very satisfying. So like for the almonds, you can have almonds and raisins, you can have pistachios. You If you don't want to put any, you don't have to, but it's up to you. But we soak a little bit the almonds so they are not like hard when we cut the loaves later on. So we squeeze the orange and then we soak the almonds. I have here some almonds with some pistachios and some raisins. Now I add my seeds. You're free to add the seeds that you like. Here I have the sesame seeds, I have the pumpkin seeds and the sunflower seeds. You can just add the sesame if you like, or if you don't want, you don't need to add. But it gives this like, the extra punch. I like to add a sprinkle of the orange blossom water. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but I feel like when you put orange, it goes with it. it gives like this kick. It's a very nice smell for the dough or for your biscuits. Now our nuts are soaked for almost 1 hour. You add them with the juice. It's like about like 1/4 cup of the orange juice. And now we don't use the whisk, we'll just use the spatula because we'll start adding our whole wheat flour. Of course, we are going to need a sift to sift our flour and the baking powder. So I have here the whole wheat flour. You add it so I don't get the bran. You know, when I said the bran, it's like in the whole wheat. I don't get like the big bran. I don't want because it will be like very crumbly. So I add the bran, but like the very tiny bran. You will see now what I'm talking about. So here is the thick bran that we don't want to have in our biscuits, but we are still having our whole wheat flour that's like with the very thin bran. Now we start combining the flour to our mixture by hand or by the machine. Just combining. We are not kneading the dough and we don't want to knead the dough. Now, as you see, I added the first 3 cups of the flour all together at once. And at this stage, I add the rest of the flour slowly. This dough, it may take 4.5, which is it took me 4.5 cup, or it can take till the 5 cups of flour. It depends to the whole wheat flour that you have. It has like high tension to absorb the liquid, or it doesn't absorb the liquid. So it depends to the flour that you have, the quality of the flour that you have. But at the end, I need a dough that it will stop sticking too much to my hand, and it's not too soft and not hard at all, because the whole wheat, when you rest it, it will absorb the liquids. So that's why we'll give it time to rest. We'll cover it with a cling film and we leave it to rest for like 5-10 minutes. Here my dough, after it rested for like 10-15 minutes even, my dough is a very good consistency. It's not sticky anymore to my fingers. It's very nice. And this is a very important step. It's how we want our biscottis to be. So if you want your biscottis to be long and thin, you can make like a wider logs or sausages or baguettes or loaves or whatever you want to call it. You can make it like wider, so like you can get the biscuit that way. If you want the biscottis to be like the way as it look for mine, I made a small baguette, and which like I say to the beginners to do so. This is the way like you can, it's easy like for the baguettes to like how to hold it, how to carry it, and to cut it later on. That's a very easy way. So I get an oven tray which covered with the parchment paper, and I make my baguettes. I have to push, I have to work the dough, as you can see a little bit, to make sure that there is, to release the air, if there is any air inside of the dough, and to push also the almonds and the raisins, if any are outside. I don't want them to get burned. I want them to be outside when I cut my baguettes to get like a very nice marbly like biscottis. So here are my biscottis in the oven tray. Now this is, it's something if you want to do, or if you don't want to. If you want your biscottis to stay the same, you can leave to stay plain, sorry. Or if you want, I added like 1 tablespoon of cacao powder, the bitter cacao powder, and 1 tablespoon of milk to brush them and to give me the nice color on the top of my biscottis. Or you can use the egg yolk as well. You can use that, but I prefer this way. It gives me like it reminds me of the biscottis when after it's cooked we dip them in the chocolate, so it gives like nice taste and nice version to that, a healthy version to that. So now my baguettes, I put them to a cold oven that I turn it to 140, 150 degrees Celsius, and to be cooked for like about 30 to 40 minutes. During the cooking time, I open the oven twice to release the steam, because I want my biscottis to be dry from inside and not too much dry, and to not be too much crispy now, because as you know, this is a twice baked cookie. So now after it's cooked, I put them out in a rack, or I leave them in the oven tray and cover them with a kitchen towel, because I want to get to relax, to rest, and to get soft. As I do, or after like 3 hours, you can cut them. Or as I did, I left them for overnight. So what I did, after it cooled down, I got a plastic bag. I put them in a plastic bag and covered them in a kitchen towel and left them for the overnight. And the other day, I cut them and put them again in the oven to get more crispy. And here you will have the biscottis are ready to eat and very delicious. And this is a healthy way to have your snack, or if you're having a sweet tooth. So you will see. For the cutting is very important step as well. So to cut it with the less damage, you have to get the right knife. It's very sharp knife, and then like you cut it with the softness. This is with the whole wheat, so it needs like a little bit of care. You can add it like all the way how I did, or if you want it like more bigger, if you want it more bigger, you can add it diagonal. So it's up to you. When you cut it, you place it in a hot oven, in preheated oven at 160 degrees, because and you flip it to the other side to get the golden, what is it, the golden color and the crispy all the way, not only from the top of the biscuits and the down of the biscuits. We want the biscuits to be all the way crispy. This is how it look, the biscotti when it's cut. When it's cut, you can see the almonds, the raisins, the seeds is cut. It's a very nice texture to see. You put it again in an oven tray covered with the pashmina paper. You can put it all together, sticked to each other. That's fine because they're already baked, so there is no problem with that. So here I'm showing you the knife that I'm cutting with. It's very sharp. It looks like the bread knife, but it's not the bread knife. It's a very small knife that it has a little thingy. Here are my biscottis from the oven. You can see the color, it's very nice. They are crispy, they are guilt-free. You can store in a tin jar or a glass jar airtight for a couple of weeks. Bon appétit! You have to be careful because this is a whole wheat flour. It needs some softness. So that's what you can see. The knife, you can try, you can try like knives that you have, but it has to be a sharp knife. So it cut all the way the nuts and the seeds without causing any damage to the biscuits. See, when I cut the biscuits, this is how it looks. We get like this beautiful color which is the color of the nuts in between and the raisins, and we place them on the covered oven tray with the pashmina paper. We just place them and put them back in the oven. So the oven has to be like about 160, 170 degrees because I want to get the caramelization from the inside of the biscuits as well, not only the color from the outside. So that's why I put them in a little lower. It's like 160 degrees, 160 to 170, up and down till they get a very nice color. Or you can put them like only on the grill, but you have to be careful and turning them on the halfway when they get the color from the up. You turn them to the other side to get again the color. Here my biscottis are ready. You can store them in a tin jar or a glass jar airtight for a couple of weeks outside in your kitchen, and they are guilt-free, healthy. So bon appetit.